as well for joining in the conversation. I know it's tough these days. It's always been hard, watching the news or listening to the news or a certain discussions on radio or watching certain discussions on TV or reading the papers and all. It's always been tough because we get lots of bad news in this part. But I imagine it's tougher now than ever. So that you're able to join the conversation, still watch the news, listen to the news. You deserve some accolades for that. So, yeah, thank you. And you're welcome once again. I hope you had a fine weekend. I hope it was great in spite of everything that we have to deal with. And boy, do we have to deal with quite a lot, actually. How you do it, I have no idea, really. But here you are today, once again, keeping hope alive, keeping faith alive, and contributing your quota to nation building and national development. So from now till 7 o'clock, we keep the conversation going. A few matters we're going to be discussing on the show today, and already I am getting messages via WhatsApp regarding the Champions League finals, which was played over the weekend. I'll come to that in a bit. I'll come to that in a moment. Not to worry. So on the show today, I've got side comments coming up. Yes, indeed, I do. Random stories and random thoughts which will not be discussed. And yes, great news. The Greenfield University students have been released. Goodness gracious. I mean, it was all that's going wrong in the country. Thankfully, we get some good news. Some a ray of light in the darkness. So a rainbow, even in the midst of a raging storm. And it's great news indeed. I imagine for all of us Nigerians it's great news. And specifically for those who listen to the show Hard Facts from 3 to 7, I imagine it's great news because it means that the rant is back. Absolutely so. The rant is back. The rant was suspended. My rant precisely was suspended for a couple of weeks, and it was to remain that way until the Greenfield University students are released. And thankfully, over the weekend, I believe, or thereabouts, that happened, and all 14 of them, and I think 2 other persons, or maybe members of staff of the school, I suppose, were released and have been reunited with their families, friends, and loved ones, and that's really great news. Even though we have been greeted with some other shocking news as well of the abduction of yet another set of students, and very sad as well, the killing, the murder of Gulak. You must have heard about that by now, I do imagine. Yeah, yes indeed. Former presidential aide Ahmed Gulak, who was killed in Imo State, and that's a very sad thing. We're part of what we're discussing on the show today. But really glad and delighted for the release of the Greenfield University students. That definitely is heartwarming news at this time. Heartwarming news indeed. So let's see. So we're discussing some of that on the show. Once again, side comments, random stories, random thoughts, and then the final update on the Greenfield University students, their release, and some other relevant information regarding that. Even though the suspension on the rant has been lifted, I must inform that there will be no rant today, as today will mark the final update on the Greenfield University students. So the rant returns fully from tomorrow. I believe I will have a rant on the show tomorrow. But thanks for your patience and for understanding. I'll explain more on that when we get to that point. But so that takes us till 4 p.m. Now, we've got business news coming up, and after that, Gulak killed, more students kidnapped. That's the story. Northern governors condemn Gulak killing, kidnap of Niger students. You can find that story in the Punch newspaper, different versions and other dailies, obviously. Now, here's a bit of that story. Now, the Northern Governors Forum has described the assassination of former special advisor to ex-president Goodluck Jonathan and political matters Ahmed Gulak as most unfortunate and totally condemnable. In a statement Monday, chairman of the forum and governor of Plateau State Simon Bako Lalong while reacting to the killing, described it as a criminal act that must be condemned in totality. Lalong said the killing of Gulak must be seen as a criminal act and treated as such, warning against insinuations and politicization that could lead to further violence. Now, he said the report by the police that it has identified and engaged the suspected killers of the late politician should further be consolidated to enable security agencies to forestall future occurrences. Meanwhile, the Northern Governors Forum has also expressed disgust over yet another abduction of innocent citizens across 3 local government areas of Niger State, including students and teachers of an Islamia school. We'll talk about that later on. Reports, varying reports, but some put the figures at 150, others put it at 200. Whatever the figures really are, no doubt that it's a lot of persons, a lot of students who have been kidnapped yet again. We'll discuss that in the 4 o'clock hour. I'm asking, how can government stem this tide of insecurity that's threatening to not threatening, it is already ravaging the country. What can government do to stem this tide? Because if nothing's done, it's only going to get worse. I'll get your take on that in the 4 o'clock hour after the business news. Taking us to 5, we've got the news updates coming up, and JAM extends UTME registration. Yep, find story in the Nation. JAM gives candidates 2 weeks to sort registration hassles. Yeah, that's in the Nation newspaper. And that's so JAM has given 2 weeks extension to candidates genuinely unable to complete their registration for the 2021 UTME. The deadline for registration was May 29, 2021. A statement by JAM's Head of Information and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, noted that such candidates have between May 31 and June 15 to complete their registration if they were not able to by last Saturday because of NIN verification issues using a new guideline. So we'll discuss that and the new guideline as well. But what I'm asking primarily is, should JAM simply scrap the NIN requirement for UTME registration or continue with it? In the 5 o'clock hour. Headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m. Open season comes back after that at about 7 when we wrap up the conversation for today. The sports cam will be in for extra time. So that's the show today. Let's keep the ball rolling with some side comments, random stories, random thoughts. Now, I know, folks, lots of folks waiting for what I'm going to say about a Champions League final. So the final came on Saturday, Manchester City against Chelsea. And yes, I had predicted that Chelsea was going to lose. But they were lucky. Chelsea was lucky. Chelsea won the game. So congratulations to Chelsea. I think Pep Guardiola could have done better with his team selection and his tactics for the day. Also, taking out Kevin De Bruyne wasn't obviously dealt a huge blow to City's chances, but it took nothing away from Chelsea's fantastic display on the day. I must say it was brilliant work, and Kante was phenomenal, no doubt about that. So congratulations to all the Chelsea fans. Yes, and I will read a few messages over here. Dio, I hope you're not going to be biased today. You have to give us Chelsea moments because we are the champions of Europe. Chinedu from Chobat said that. All Blues champions. Okay. Shame on you, Dio. Chelsea won. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, that's cool. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Dio, good day. Please, we need Chelsea moments. Thanks. All right. Yeah. Thank God Chelsea won. Your prediction didn't work. God big past you. Ezekiel Isaiah said that. Dyer up Chelsea. I hereby ban Arsenal moment in Nigeria info. That's calling from Rumo Krushi. Chelsea moment. All right. Good day, Dyer. Please give us Chelsea moment, Dyer. Dyer, please give us our Chelsea moment as Maxwell from Port Harcourt. Okay. All right. So congratulations once again to all the Chelsea fans out there. I'm sure you're all excited by the victory, and you should, by the way, no doubt about that. However, as much as I know that you would love it, as much as I know that you're going to be extremely excited and delighted with a Chelsea moment, I do not hate or regret to inform you that there will be no Chelsea moment. There never has been a Chelsea moment on my show, and there never will be a Chelsea moment on my show. Not even Chelsea winning the Champions League will qualify Chelsea for a Chelsea moment on my show. Even if Chelsea were to win the Premier League, win the FA Cup, win the Carabao Cup, win the Champions League, and even win the World Cup in one season, it's still not going to happen. Chelsea will not have a moment on my show. However, here's a moment that everybody likes. Everybody loves this moment. Chelsea fans love it. Man U fans love it. Everybody. Tottenham fans love it. Man City fans love it. Barcelona fans love it. Real Madrid fans love it. Every human being loves the Arsenal moment. So in celebration of Chelsea's victory and the official closure or the official ending of the season, I believe the major leagues have wound up already. And so let's celebrate the great football that we all enjoyed this season and Chelsea's win with a moment that everybody loves. Let's have an Arsenal moment. Yes. Absolutely. I'm sure everybody right now is enjoying the moment. A message here via WhatsApp says, even Hezbollah and ISIS love the Arsenal moment. Yes, they do, actually. So someone says, not playing the Chelsea moment will never be in your show is hate speech. That's good news. Okay, good news. Dayo, very, very biased, and that is not good for a person of your personality. Oh, yes, I am, actually. Did you just discover that when it comes to Arsenal, Matt? I thought you knew that before. Yeah, Dayo, Arsenal moment is the best moment on earth. You're the man. That's from Ima Ekule. Ima, great to hear from you as well. Absolutely. Dayo, we will resist it. You can organize a protest if you will. But be careful because the police will get an intelligence report. And you just might be dealt with and crushed. All right, so is this hate against Chelsea? No, it's not. It's just, Dayo, I never knew you can be this evil. Seriously? Okay. All right, so like I said, no Chelsea moment, but at least I congratulated you for winning. Isn't that enough for crying out loud? And I even gave you the Arsenal moment. Everybody loves the Arsenal moment, and I gave you the Arsenal moment. So I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So let's get on with the conversation now. Random stories, random thoughts. Okay. The comments continue to pour in right now, but I must move on. I cannot continue with this at this time. Well, thank you for joining the conversation, and I'm not sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting the Chelsea moment. That said, side comments, random stories, and the thoughts that I came across today. Now, let's see. The spokesman of the River State Police Command, Nnamdi Ebonyi, says it will investigate this morning's explosion at the Marsari Market in Port Harcourt. Police spokesperson Nnamdi Ebonyi said in a statement that a locally fabricated dynamite exploded when one Mrs. Euphemia Aloke, popularly known as Mama Joy, opened her fish shop. Now, the statement said explosion left a son and a young lady injured. SP Ebonyi said normal trading activities resumed in the market after a safety sweep by the police. And it's a very, very sad situation. I do Hope that those who are injured are get well soon. Thankfully, nobody was killed, and I hope the security agencies are able to track down the perpetrators of this dastardly act and deal with them accordingly. I do hope so very much. And other items that caught my attention on the news from earlier today. Let's see. A policeman identified as Francis has been accused of using his office to arrest and stop a young man from proceeding for his National Youth Service course. Samuel Ahaimefula, a native of Eche local government area of Rivers State, told our correspondent that his son was arrested because he separated a fight between the policeman and a businessman at Chokocho 2 weeks ago. Mr. Ahaimefula said despite reporting the matter to the police headquarters at Moscow Road, nothing has been done to secure his son's release. Let's hear what this distraught father had to say about this most unfortunate development.
Then he was arrested on Sunday, being 16th, while he was about to move to his camp, where he's supposed to serve at Imo State. I want the government to help me to release him so that the boy would not be arrested. While this guy is coming back and started separating them with the mind that he wanted to stop this boy not to go to youth service. That is why. And when he arrested him, one-to-one, asked him, where did you drop this boy? He said he don't know, that I should go to Moscow Road. I came to Moscow Road, I couldn't get him. It was about 2-3 days after that day, I discovered that through the signals, I discovered that the guy is at Poor Father's police station.
Okay, your CP-ness, your CP-ness, the versatile CP, a book of Friday, your crackhead boys are again. Apparently, there are too many crackheads in the River State Police Command, and it might be problematic flushing all of them out. But can you address to one of your children? Your children have done it again. Your children. In this case, what's the name right now? Yeah, Officer Francis, one of your children, one of your boys, has done it again. So if you will be kind, CPA Booker Friday, to release this young man, to get your boy, your children, to release this young man so he can go for his youth service. And whether or not you are going for youth service has nothing to do with this. If he's not committed any crime, then your child, Officer Francis, should have no business arresting anybody who's not committed a crime. All right, so please use your good office, and the people of Eche might tie wrapper and dance for you, and even pay for announcement to thank your excellenciness, your CP-ness, for releasing their son to them. Let's see what else caught my attention. Oh yes, just in case for any moment you thought that you have seen or heard the last of flyovers in River State, you are absolutely mistaken, because His Excellency is not done. Now the River State government is to build a 10th flyover. This time it will be around the tank axis, Rumokrushi area of Port Harcourt Metropolis. Governor Yeson Wike made this known during a Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's Cathedral, due to mark his 6th year in office. Let's hear what His Excellency had to say about this development and the latest in a series of seemingly unending flyovers in River State.
We are talking about 9 flyovers. And one of the 9 is an odd number. As I was not getting an odd number. I was saying even so there must be the 10 to 1 5 days. So those of you who are angry that Port Harcourt will have flyovers, please don't only be angry. You have no pressure. In fact, I'm trying to bring a tax. As you're coming to Blago, you pay tax. You can't take the congestion tax. So some of you can stay in your local government. So that flyover will be at water time and a little rushing.
All right, so there you have it. By the way, allegedly, you know, applications are being received right now for flyover. So if you need a flyover before the window closes, if you need a flyover, you need to send in your application right now. Just state where you want it to be, and the flyover just might be yours. All right. Offer lasts whilst flyovers are still in stock. We're not sure how many we still have left in the warehouse, but I might check after my shift today. I might check for how many flyovers are still left in the warehouse. But the earlier you send in your entries, the better. The earlier you send in your entries, the better. So I do have to wrap up this segment right now, but once again I have to remind the versatile CP, the Black Friday, the good people of Rivers State still waiting for the results of investigations being carried out on your crackhead children who were extorted Uniport undergrad students of 150,000 naira and forgot their phone. Also, what's with the situation with the other crackhead children who reportedly, allegedly, stole 200,000 naira from another person? What's happening with that one? And please address one of your children, Officer Francis, to release the student so he can go for his youth service. Thank you very much. And finally, Your Excellency, Michael Pastor, is self-appointed Senior Special Advisor, reminding His Excellency of critical matters. Your Excellency, sir, I know we're going to have flyover number 10 very soon, but can we pay some attention to education, especially at the basic level? We need 10,000 teachers in Rivers State. We need 4,000 non-teaching staff. Those figures may have gone up from when your needs assessment was done in your first term. We need to make concerted efforts to fill those spaces, because once again what it means is that there are children in Rivers State who go to schools that have no teachers or not enough teachers. We need to address that. We need to provide proper infrastructure, a proper teaching learning environment. Education is key. Education is the best legacy. And whilst flyovers can take us from GRA Junction to Waterline to a few minutes faster, maybe 2 or 5, education will take us to a future where all of these flyovers may have to be demolished. And so our children can compete with their peers globally. We need to prepare them now. And not only the children of excellencies or honorables who go to very big and expensive schools. The children of the Nigerian masses deserve good quality education as well. So that's it. I go for a break, and when I return, congratulations to all of us once again. The Greenfield University students have been released. The final update on that development when I return. Please stay with us.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Room OC office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817-001-8162. That's 0817-001-8162.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. Still Hard Fact to 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 29 minutes to go before 4 p.m. And before I move on, the messages keep pouring in via WhatsApp. Dio, I am shocked. This is the height of bias from you. You're more biased than I thought. Unimaginable. Uche Wachuku said that. Dio, will the Chelsea fans demand an apology from you for saying we will be beaten like a baby by City? Okay. We, the Chelsea fans, need Nigeria Info PHOEP2. We will protest. That's from Timothy. Someone says, even the Chelsea fans have been waiting for the Arsenal moment to celebrate their victory. Absolutely. Absolutely so. Let's see. Arsenal moment all the way. We're on top of the situation. It just made me to dislike you. Because of that, you wouldn't have your share of the cow. Pexi from Ukrika said that. Daya, you're worse than APC and PDP because you just talk like them today. Okay. Alright. Daya, but why? Don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm sure you will eventually. You won the Champions League. What else do you want? You'll be fine. All right, moving on from that. And yes, for several weeks, I suspended a segment of my show, which I personally have come to grow quite fond of, really. And from what I hear, I think a few persons do appreciate that segment as well. For a few minutes, I deliver a rant, my thought on a particular matter, and then I get your take on my take all the way till 4 p.m. But for some weeks, I had to suspend delivering a rant because on April 20, about 40 days ago, thereabouts, or over 40 days ago, some students and staff of Greenfield University in Kaduna State were kidnapped. And it's through their parents, it's through lots of persons, family members, loved ones, and lots of Nigerians into a terrible situation indeed. But thankfully, about 40 days afterwards, they have been released. But for some weeks, I suspended my rant. And the point is not, lots of persons questioned my doing that, saying, oh, does it mean that every time someone is kidnapped, and that means there will not be an end to it? And I know there are some who are thinking right now, well, after all, another set of students have been kidnapped. Now, my suspending the rant for this period was symbolical. It's not about suspending it for every single situation or every single time when a student or any other person for that matter are kidnapped. No, it was to, for as long as possible, remind us and draw attention to something very critical. Because what we normally do is when these things happen, we forget about it because, yes, lo and behold, our leaders, our honorables and excellencies will always, do something or bring up something that's going to that's going to be worse than the last one. So we get distracted, we move on, and we would have, most of us, we very likely have forgotten about them. You very likely would have forgotten about them, and you would have moved on. So the point for me was to keep us talking about, to keep us remembering, and hopefully the seriousness of the situation. And by situation, I'm not referring to just the Greenfield University students kidnapping. The situation that we have in the country, the seriousness of it will hit you. And that was the point of it all. And I do hope that at least, even if it's just you, have come to some or a clearer realization or a clearer perspective of how things are in the country, and hopefully that should inform the choices that you make as a citizen going forward. Because in the next few weeks, months, and years, Nigerians are going to have to make some very critical decisions, and I hope that we're all getting conscientized enough and awakened by the realities of our times, and also are awakened to our responsibilities as citizens to this country and to ourselves. And that's the irony of it, is responsibilities to ourselves. Here's a report on the matter. Kidnapped Greenfield University students freed. The remaining 14 abducted students of Greenfield University were freed on Saturday after 40 days in captivity. 2 other persons who were kidnapped alongside the students were also said to have been freed. The Kaduna Commissioner for Home Affairs and Internal Security, Samuel Ariwan, confirmed the release of the students to BBC Hausa service on Saturday. The students were abducted from the private university in Kaduna State on April 20 after bandits invaded their hostels. Now, 5 of the abducted students were later killed by the bandits. The details of the release of the students were still sketchy at the time of this report. The Kaduna government had earlier adopted a policy of not negotiating with kidnappers, saying it encourages more kidnappings. I do have some sound here, which I'm going to play back from some of the parents and the family members of the kidnapped students and staff. I'm going to be playing that right now. Just a moment. Gonna have to whip that one up. And this, by the way, is Cutsy Channels Television. What I'm about to play back, Cutsy Channels Television, and I'll get your take on it when I return. Please stay with us.
I give God all the glory. Jesus, I thank you. It has been a torment life since over 40 days now. The first ransom was 95 million. That collectively as broken individually, we paid 98 million. After then, they call us and tell us that we should not be talking to government. We started negotiating on round table. They said the first leader have left. That this is another leader. After collecting 95 million, after what's said and done, they say we should pay another 100 million. They are going to reduce. We beg them, help us. We are exhausted. We have sold our things. We borrowed money. They say they don't want to know. That 15 million will be completed. After then, 2 people went and paid 10 million each. We remaining 12 people. After 12 people, they say we should pay 30. After 30 million, we agreed to pay 30 million on Sunday. They say if the money passed on Sunday, that we are going to pay another 50 million on Monday. At the end of the day, we end up agreeing with them. We agree with them. It's 150 million. I will not hide the truth. Governments that say they want to protect us, the government that they will promise us they are going to protect our people. How can my wife go to work for 2 days and I'm paying about over 5 million with the torment? I can't hide the truth. When the men in the bush dropped them, they call us. We went to pick them. The security there rushed and picked them. We went there, asked them to release our people. We went to take them to hospital. This is a 40 days. Look at my wife, very pretty woman. Look at her now. I want to take them to hospital. They are claiming they want to this, they want to see your God, they want to see. We say no. That's why we forced the gate. If we wouldn't have forced the gate, by now they will be there. Look at her. I want to take her to hospital. That's why we forced the gate. We are telling them where are they when they say they help them to go. I say when we are paying the ransom, when we are giving them all these things, where are you there? You went to bush. When we are entering the bush, where are you there?
The sum of it is that these 40 days has been 40 days of trauma, 40 days of trouble, 40 days of confusion, 40 days of disappointment. That 40 days, the future of Nigeria, the children of Nigeria were kidnapped, and no government, both federal and the state, none of them could lift a finger. We have made appeals as parents. We have addressed press conference on several occasions calling for help. No government signified any interest. No government showed any intention to help. And so these children were left on their own. And that the parents have to rally round to make sure that these children were released. Everything the kidnappers asked for were given by the parents, without the help of anybody, without the help of any government. I can't mention the amount here, but it's a huge amount of money. It's a huge amount of money. We paid money, and just yesterday, they collected a number of bikes, which we have to, because our future, our children, our blood, our destiny, we are tied down for 40 days. So there was nothing they asked for that we could not have done. There was no fight anywhere by any security agency. I stand to be corrected. Let any security agency come out and come and tell us where they fought. Let them come and tell us where they fought the kidnappers. Let them come and tell us. The parents, all of us, we have suffered. We have sold all our properties. Everything that was valued to us, we sold to rescue our children. There is no government, there is no security agency anywhere that came out for any assistance or any help.
And that's what I hope will be the last update that I will be giving on this situation as regards the Greenfield University students. So that's it. You heard from some of the parents and family members of the victims of the Greenfield University kidnappings. Let's get your take right now on all of this drama that's lasted about 40 days even to this point. Lines are open, 0817 93 0002 or 0003. There's 0817 93 0007 or 0009. We're live on facebook.com /Nigeria Info PH. You can tweet at Nigeria Info PH also. Watch us live on YouTube as well. Just search for Nigeria Info PH on YouTube. You're welcome to join the conversation at this time. All right, to the third line, so I've got Paul on the line. Hello, Paul. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Dayo.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Have we not been forsaken by God? Look at. Oh my. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome, Paul. Via Facebook, Sijai Ovia goes, Nigeria has to become a lucrative market for kidnapping business. Only God will help us. Thank God goes, the parents of these students sold their properties to raise 180 million to pay for the ransom. It's very unfortunate. The Kaduna State government and federal government was unable to rescue the students in the hands of kidnappers. I got Stella. Okay, well, Stella was on the line. Stella's gone. Call back if you can. And from Transamadi, you're welcome, Henry. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Hi.
You see, when you share this man that spoke last, I'm sure he has something to say. But sometimes you don't want to talk on radio because you don't actually know what to say. The Greenfield, imagine that parent. Government, and this is the state where some years ago, under former administration, this man said that government should do everything necessary to release those that are kidnapped. Today, is a governor. In his state, people are kidnapped, students are kidnapped, and some have even died.
Yeah.
And the narrative is different. That is so painful. When people sell land, sell property, they even borrow and be in debt just to release the children from the hands of this guy. We're not even talking about psychological trauma. Do you know how much trouble those kids have gone through in their hands?
Unimaginable.
Hands of criminal strangers.
Unimaginable.
Do you think those children will be normal anymore?
Both emotional and physical trauma, I believe.
Can you equate that to any amount of money, Dayo? Do you know how those children will feel years after? Dayo, we are in a terrible situation, and anyone who left the country and we don't rise, it means that in fact, our future is very bleak. When you have children, Dayo, you'll be very worried. Don't lie to you. Be very worried.
Henry,
this is not a country we grew up from.
Henry, great to hear from you, but I must move on, Henry. Great to hear from you, though. Adekunle, you're welcome. Go ahead. Frank, I'll be with you shortly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dayo.
You're welcome, Kunle. Go ahead.
It's so unfortunate that we don't have government at all. Because if we have any, even the state government, the federal government, everybody relax. Leave all these parents to their own detriment. Say, just go and do it. The problem there is all of them pretend as if nothing is happening at all. From the presidency down to the governor, to the local government, to everything, they pretend as if nothing happened. God, what type of country are we? How did we get here? I think it is high time for us to beg international community to come and help us in this country.
Help us do what exactly? Help us do what?
Because these people, if you talk too much, they go after you. If you do anything, before you know anything, you will be dismissed or whatever. You will just go without anybody chasing you. So, we can be able to talk to them. You remember the incident of Americans, when one American farmer was kidnapped. They came down to Nigeria and dropped. They knew exactly where this guy was, inside the forest. Out there, Nigerian military, the Nigerian government, they don't know where all the kidnappers. Where are the kidnappers? Not one or two persons. 40-something. And the voyage yesterday, they collected about 200 students again. Do we have government in this country? Not at all.
Collect, good to hear from you as well. You're welcome. Frank from Rupoko, hi, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Dario.
Hello.
That is so unfortunate. I don't understand. My only crime is being a Nigerian.
Well,
so unfortunate. The clip I just heard from the radio is I just weaken every bone in my body. How do a person sleep 40 days not knowing where your loved one is? And then the governors are just running up and down, talking about the increase of fuel and so many other things. I really do not understand an end to this. And the most unfortunate thing is that despite all this suffering, when any national issue come up on radio, you see people call and divide themselves unnecessarily. People who got nothing from the government, you are a deputy person, you are a PDP person. Who gives us this kind of consciousness as a people? The government should be confined that the gap between the governed and the governed is very wide. You see what is happening in Imo State today is as a result of instill trust on our leader. I find it very disturbing when I see that somebody is outside the country controlling people to sit at home and they did without any. You understand?
Yeah.
This time, as unfortunate as it is,
it raises questions as to if the citizens trust their government.
Need to sit up.
Yeah.
Sincerity of purpose is very important. Before you know it, it's not that these people come on air, you just see possibly the media air to the president go on air and then claim how the president has done this, how the governor has done this. Even though these people muster this courage to come to air and speak. What do we do to this kind of unfortunate event? I am so pained right now.
Frank, great to hear from you as well. Thanks for calling in. I got Kinsley. Stella, if you can wait, I'll be with you shortly. Kinsley, you're welcome. Go on.
Thank you, Dayo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nobody will hear this and feel happy. Because part of the mantra, or you call it political statement, or mission, this government actually said was going to do was to protect life and property. I just don't understand what we did wrong to have brought them to power. And we keep hearing one story upon the other. The worst of the whole thing is that no government official, call it from the state or the federal, will come out and be truthful. At least that would be a long way to appease some to appease what? It's okay, this is the reality of the thing. But if you notice from every other caller, it's the same thing that they will come up to want to give glory to a man who has not even addressed the nation on that issue.
How that His Excellency wasn't sleeping at night, and
which wasn't sleeping at night. It's so the worst part is that they will just take all the glory and give to someone who will change his speech in Ato Rock. It's so appalling. The worst part, we're talking about that one. It has not ended. And 200 yesterday.
Absolutely.
Yep. We're taking.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like they were waiting. It's almost like they were waiting for the Greenfield one to be sorted out, so that they won't share their attention with any other person. You know.
The time to be fair with you, it's so painful, and so I can understand when people will try to protect your image by saying, "Don't say this, don't say that," because on the other serious note, you give the citizen the courage to say, "Bro, let everybody sit at home with iPhone." Sincerely, let everybody just sit at home. Whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, or something, just sit at home. Because by the time you do that, and you let's all bring the economy down, let's know that okay, we love government. Let's find a way to protect ourselves, because the government will never. They don't even have an understanding to do it. I'll take the word of Abacha. If it continues, then the government is involved. And so nobody on earth should come and tell me that the presidency is not aware of the kidnap.
Kinsley?
He knows where they are, and they have refused to act.
Great to hear from you, Kinsley. Stella from East West Road, thanks for waiting. Welcome, Stella.
Hi, Dayo. I thought I had so much to say until I heard that last parent speak. I mean, every energy I had was just sapped. Because I was just imagining some of those children may have had pre-existing conditions. Some may be diabetic. Some may have been asthmatic. Some may be sickles. And for 40 days, I don't even want to go there. So let me go to solution. And then you just pardon me, because my solution may not seem realistic, but just think about it.
Oh, go ahead.
And it's completely away from the government. Now,
okay.
I would assume that every human being, at least who is 30 years and above, belongs to some religious organization, whether it's church or mosque. And probably you belong to an old boy and old girl association or a village association. Now, so what I'm thinking is, for the psychological and mental health of these parents, I'm not even going to the children yet. I think that looking at it from a self-help angle, if parents go to churches, they go to mosques, right? They belong to some self-help organizations. Those organizations that know that their members have gone through this kind of trauma, they have professionals inside those churches, inside the mosques, inside those organizations, reach out to those parents. You know them. They are your neighbors. They are your church members. They are your old schoolmates. That's number one. Then even inside the churches at the mosques or wherever these parents belong to, and you are a member and you know these parents, if you know that when they go to the hospital, they're still going to spend money to take care of these children that they have ransomed.
Yeah.
You can just add something. You know that some of these children, maybe their father is a widower and their mom is a widow. And some of them may have gone to sell, like the last man said, they have sold some of their property. And do you know what it means to sell your property just to get back your child? So let's just try. Anybody who is around these people, there are companies in that locality or in Kaduna. Don't forget the government now. Anybody who knows any way they can help, they can help. If it's abroad, somebody would have put up a GoFundMe, right? And raise some money, because everybody has a social security number, so they know how this money will be distributed.
Stella?
They have, I don't want to say anything about government, but I think we can help in one way or the other.
Stella, thanks for calling. Via Facebook, Iborama Tunuejit goes, now that the said parents have sold the properties to secure the release of the children, how are they going to survive in terms of feeding, clothing, and even thinking of sending their wards to school? Henry Mbak goes, my sympathy to these parents and their children, and equally condemn the failure of government at all levels, but the way in manner these parents are exposing their transactions and the amount the bid is directly promoting the kidnapping business for intending kidnappers. As for us as citizens, it's time to start holding government officials at all levels responsible for this failure, and not the president alone. Gospel Worker goes down. It's unfortunate that after politics, kidnapping is the next big business in Nigeria, and government seems to be helpless on how to tackle it. We must join hands to fight this menace. Via Twitter at Ike020 tweet, I'm happy that the students and staff members of Greenfield University have been released. But what this means is that Nigerians should be aware that we're on their own. We don't have a government. What we have are individuals who are in public offices, paying salaries and building roads. And Alozia and Okorie, sorry, if you can, do call back. I might be able to take another call, I think, before wrapping this up. Via Twitter, Rustino1555 tweets, we don't have a government at all levels. Okay, still not great to hear from you. Now via going over to WhatsApp. Franklin goes down. It's really sad listening to the parents of those children. It's disheartening. The only thing I can say is, may Nigeria never happen to anyone. That's from Franklin. I need one more call, please, if I can get that. Daya, good evening. If finally I get through to you and I just keep mute, please understand the way I feel is beyond words. Deep side, that's from Dave. Okay, I think I'll take it myself. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hi, go ahead. You have 2 minutes, please.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome. Go ahead.
The condition of this country is getting I see concern every blessed day. Even the news I heard today is shocking. Now, let me ask you this. Over 200 students kidnapped. Is it only one car? Is it only two cars? Is it only three cars that will enter these schools? From which route did they apply drove those children out from the school? Are you trying to tell me in the whole Niger state there is no security outfit on those roads? See, it is a hard time we begin to disbelieve this. How can you tell me, okay, let me give you for instance, Rumola Girls now. You told me they kidnapped over 200 students of Rumola Girls. From which angle? From where? From APA Road, from Choba Road, from Ipre Road. Where did they go to? If that kind of thing happens, alarms should be raised from concerned citizens and other ones. We keep on hearing this. Parents now is selling property to beg their children to pay ransoms. You see what we be hearing from this country? Poor man is contributing for his own car-earned money to foot the bill of the child. Now we are now paying ransom to release your child. I'm asking, where are we going in this country? I am just confused.
Alozie,
Okay, we say Mr. President to speak up. Now I come to think of this.
Alozie, I apologize.
I keep on telling people this.
Alozie.
President Muhammad Buhari is in Abuja.
Alozie,
what is
you're not listening to me, Alozie.
Of Niger
Alozie.
is the chief security of that state.
Great to hear from you, sir. Via WhatsApp, Tamska goes, so disheartening the kind of country we live in. The parents did whatever was in their past to raise money to rescue their children. Yet government coming to tell us that they fought for the rescue of these children. Government that will be lying to its people can also sell its people. All right, thanks. What now happens to the already killed children's parents? I'm heartbroken and ashamed of the government of PMB, yet the lawmakers go to the Senate to make useless noise. Instead of impeaching PMB out of office, Umbide Kelvin said that. Thanks to our Heavenly Father that the Greenfield students are free at last, and it's quite unfortunate that the state federal government have failed us in securing our lives and properties. We're indeed in a situation that the government hasn't forgotten us to our fate. Okay, and maybe a final. Do I have time for a final one? I think I can. April goes, Nigeria is the only different country in the world. Imagine how only the parents and family members of the kidnapped children and teachers walked around the clock of emotions, pains with huge expenses of over 80 million naira for 40 days and 40 nights, and finally got their loved ones released. Yet no public office holder and officer resigned for negligence, and now it's a turn for victims' families from Niger State to take their turn. God, how did we get here? Thank you very much for having joined the conversation thus far. We'll keep discussing these matters as they come up. Hopefully we can find some solutions. Talking about solutions, that's what we're discussing next. What can government do to stem this horrific tide before it consumes all of us? After the business news, do please stay with us.